Hey, Shalom. All praises to you, How Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Much mercy to you, sincere brothers out there, the true house of David, all you brothers that are understanding this new covenant, that are repenting in this time. And basically what I want to do, I want to read Matthew 27, a little bit of Matthew 27, and then just go into a lesson because certain things that we're going into, like the real understanding of the Gentiles, understanding the place of torment, which there is a hell, and basically teaching the new covenant with the understanding that this don't have nothing to do with Moses. Not too many guys are doing that. Not too many guys really have understanding. And the reason because of that is that I'm going to read it right here in Matthew 27. And according to Isaiah and Matthew 13, a lot of men have been blinded due to this right here in Matthew 27. A lot of men's blood of Yahushua is on them, so that don't allow them to have no understanding. And so this is what you have to understand in this time. So I want to read a couple things because this is what is happening in this time. A lot of men have been blinded by prophecy. And you know the term, like how they say in the world, guys are drunk off the blood. You know, like you're drunk off the blood. What this says that in Isaiah 47. So that all ties in on like how guys are drunk off the wine and the fornication of Babylon. Guys are fucking blinded by the ways of the world that won't get them. They won't allow them to really understand this covenant. So a lot of guys are cursed teaching because they are the Lord have actually blinded them from the ways of Yahushua. What they have is the ways of the world and the ways of camps. And it's crazy. Guys actually think that they're fulfilling the old law. It is crazy what's going on, man. And a lot of you guys, there's nowhere for nobody to really hide. What this covenant is doing is making everybody show who they are. You see what I'm saying? So what you got to understand in this last time, we're up against so much opposition, but it is always a way to see who men really are. Because by this time, if you don't have a certain type of understanding and the new covenant has been going out, that's just that you don't understand. You're not a part of it, really. And certain guys can't be corrected because a lot of these guys, like it tells you in Matthew 27, and I'm going to read it. I'm going to go through this a little bit. They have the blood of the Lord on them. Because this is what they said. They said, let his blood be on us and our children. AV. So by them saying that in the first century, what had happened is a lot of men today, unknowingly, because they don't have the understanding of the new covenant and they teach against it, and they teach against us, basically, what they're saying is they're actually by their blood being on them and their children, they were taking the blame for the death of the Lord back in them times by all the fucking hatred that they had. This is Matthew Matthew 27 and 17. And this is more of the account real quick. Let me just read this. So guys are blinded by the blood of the Lord, and they're blinded by prophecy, and they're blinded by the blood. So guys are teaching doctrine that don't have nothing to do with the Lord. And guys are speaking of the Lord, but they're not with him. And they're twisting the whole dialogue that the Lord was speaking, and Paul and the apostles and them were speaking. This has all been twisted up in this last time. So that's why we say, like, If you don't have a certain understanding at this point, then that means that you were against the Lord in the first century. And just like the brothers said it too, man, just like when they would ask the Lord all those fucking questions, trying to like catch him up or whatever, a lot of you guys are in that spirit. You're in that spirit of asking so many goddamn questions, and that means that a lot of you guys are not in the right spirit, and you cannot be. This Gentile thing is really, it is really, how do you say? It is really causing men to bug out in these last times, because what they've been taught is slavery and death and no mercy and all that. So now at the end of this thing that we're telling you, like, according to what the Lord was teaching and the apostles and them were teaching in the first century, certain Gentiles believed, and them same Gentiles are back in this time to believe. So it's not up to none of you guys. The truth about this whole thing is what's happening in this time is that a lot of guys have been blocked off from the spirit. So you can teach the Bible in old covenant garments, but you don't have nothing to do with the spirit. And a lot of you guys don't understand, by wearing those old covenant garments, they don't put you in the spirit. They put you in the vibration of the old. So guys don't have an understanding teaching. Men are teaching a curse under a curse covenant. The scriptures say that you're cursed under that old covenant. I don't know if you guys know how to read, or a lot of you guys are just fucking degenerate, but the scriptures tell you that you're cursed holding to that old covenant. So guys are cursed because the blood of the prophets, a lot of guys have to pay for that blood in the first century. Not just the Lord, a lot of the men that died, a lot of guys are going to pay in this time for that. But let's read a couple of things real quick. Matthew 27:19. I just want to hit this point real quick. Matthew 27:19. And when he had sat down in the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, Have thou nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. Whew. So the heathens at that point, they even like knew the Lord was somebody important. That Pilate, he didn't want nothing to do with the blood of the Lord's hands. You know, he didn't want his hands to have nothing to do with the blood of the Lord. It says, but the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas and destroy Jesus. Let me read this again. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude. That's what's happening right now. A lot of guys are persuading the multitudes against the new covenant. Just like how they were persuading the multitude in that time to let Barabbas go. So guys are persuading the multitude against the new covenant that's actually being taught. It is very heavy. You got to look at it in a spiritual way. It says, the governor answered and said unto them, Whether of the twain will ye that I release unto you? They said, Barabbas. You see that? Pilate said unto them, What shall I do then with the anointed, which is called the anointed? Which Yahushua, which is called the anointed. They all say unto him, Let him be crucified. So our people were calling for the death of the Lord up at this point. Because what the Lord was doing, he was healing certain Gentiles. The woman at the well, the man that was the centurion. Back in Matthew 8, the Lord was healing the blind. He raised Lazarus from the dead. He was doing like so many miracles, which they hated. They hated that. And certain men were being afraid to be kicked out of the synagogue if they actually believed in what the Lord was doing. And that's why you had Nicodemus would come to the Lord at night to really understand, and Nicodemus actually got it. And I think Nicodemus was there when Stephen got stoned. Nicodemus actually believed, man, it's heavy. Matthew 27 and 22. Pilate said unto them, what shall I do then with Yahushua, which is called the Anointed? And they all said unto him, let him be crucified. And the governor said, why, what evil have he done? So this is Matthew 27. When you go to Luke, there's more dialogue. But I wanted to get this because this chapter lets you know what they actually said too about the blood being on them and their children. So it's really heavy to understand how diabolical our people were back then, and they're diabolical as hell right now. They're carnal. And they can't let go of the fame and the notoriety of the world. It's heavy. It's very heavy. It says, when Pilate saw that he could not prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude, saying, I am innocent of the blood of this person, of this just person. See ye to it. So Pilate tried to wash his hands. So it's heavy that Pilate washed his hands. And our people insisted on killing the Lord. So that's why guys don't have the doctrine of the new covenant. That's why guys are against the new covenant. That's why they will tell you that they're waiting on a covenant. And then they'll tell you that they're in the spirit. Man, we're in a very evil time. And a lot of you guys is having a hard time. Certain of you guys, a lot of you guys is having a hard time understanding the Gentile. You're not really of this. And a lot of guys are set up to cause confusion, to try to ask you 1,000 questions. That's the same shit the wicked scribes and the Pharisees, the brother said that the wicked scribes and Pharisees, they were doing the same shit, trying to ask the Lord 1,000 questions. There's no type of distraction really you're going to stop from this word really reaching who it's supposed to reach. What you guys don't understand, this word is going to reach the elect while this world is going full force. And once this word reaches all to the elect, that's it. But a lot of you guys are carnal. You don't even believe in what we're teaching, or you don't even believe in the Lord. Or you don't even have faith that this is going to reach everybody. Because that shit that you guys are teaching, that's not the gospel. Even certain of you guys are the new covenant. You got guys actually teaching that they're fulfilling the old law. You're not the Lord didn't come here for you to fulfill that old law. The Lord fulfilled the law himself. So guys really don't have an understanding. It's because they were really cut off from the spirit. So guys in the new covenant, they have no idea what was being taught in the first century. They're just teaching their own camp doctrine mixed with the new covenant shit. It's all fucked. It's crazy in these last days. So guys really don't have no fucking understanding, man. It's crazy. Matthew 27 and 25, then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and on our children. You see that? This is the spirit that guys were in back then, and this is the spirit that guys are in now. So the children of the ones that killed the prophets, they are back in this time, denying the covenant, teaching Esau, teaching false doctrine. They don't understand the Gentiles because this haven't been given unto them. So what they have done is, what they're set up to do is stand in front of the kingdom of heaven, and none of their carnal ass can go in. And they're teaching this, trying to make you think by all the fucking videos they do. That's just like how they was in the first century. They will put up all these fucking carnal sacrifices and try to make you think they're of the Lord by doing all these sacrifices. That's what guys do when they teach all these videos with no fucking understanding. Matthew 23 and 31, wherefore you be witnesses unto yourselves that you are the children of them which killed the prophets. So by guys' doctrine and what they're speaking on, because there's only one doctrine, there's only one way, there's only one understanding. So you can't butcher the scriptures and say you're not in the new covenant. Then you can't teach men and hold men to Moses and talk about you're gonna be delivered by holding men to Moses and you're gonna get beamed up. That you're the bride of the Lord and you're teaching men Moses. That guys have no understanding because they're drunk off the blood and the wine of the fornication of Babylon. Guys are drunken. They're blinded. All these guys teaching that say they're teaching the new covenant, all you guys that are teaching in these camps, you're fucking blinded, you're drunk with the blood of the prophets. It's heavy. Matthew 23:31, wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. So if you, by this time, a lot of you, everybody that's teaching, they don't have the understanding of the new covenant, and you can't understand the Gentiles, and you're teaching men Moses just like camps. All you guys are the same. You either had something to do with the prophets or you hated the men that killed the prophets. Matthew 23:32, fill ye up the measure of your fathers, O ye serpents, and ye generations of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell? Whew. How can you get around this scripture right here? A lot of you guys are damned to hell. All you false prophets that are holding men to Moses, man. You've been damned in this time. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them you shall scourge in your synagogues and prosecute them from city to city. Whew. So the blood is on them, pursuing to Matthew 28. What did they say? They say Matthew 27:25. Then answer all the people. These are Jews. These are the ones that were against the Lord, just like they're against him now. They're set up all in these camps. And they don't have no understanding of the Gentiles. They don't understand that law that they got holding men under, that it's cursed. So they're blinded by prophecy. Their understanding is darkened. All these guys that are holding you to Moses and they're teaching all this shit of the world, they're blinded. Then answered all the people and said, his blood be on us and our children. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and he had scourged the anointed and delivered him to be crucified. And the soldiers of the governor took the anointed into the common hall and gathered unto him with the whole band of soldiers, and they stripped him and put on him a scarlet robe. And they planted a crown of thorns and put it on his head and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him, mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him in the head. So a lot of guys got a lot of blood to pay for. Let's go to this real quick. So they said, let his blood be on us and our children. And a lot of these guys are back that actually spit in the Lord's face. A lot of these guys, these camp leaders and shit, and these elders, they spit in the Lord's face. So the scriptures tell you that the blood, they're drunk off the wine and the wrath of the fornication. All you guys that are part of Babylon, because if you're not in the new covenant teaching it correctly, you're part of Babylon by default. It's heavy right here. Revelation 17:1. And there came upon the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show ye the judgment of the great whore, who sitteth upon many waters, whom the kings of the earth committed fornication. Whom the kings of the earth. This is going into other nations' kings and all you guys that hold a position in this world, that hold a high seat. That's why the Lord tells you in, I think it's Luke 14, that when you come serve the Lord, take the Lord's seat. don't have a high seat. Well, a lot of guys, they have high seats. So they will be referred to as some of these kings of this world too. It says, whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have made drunk with the wine of a fornication. Whew. Let's read it again. And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of a fornication. Because the doctrine guys are teaching, that shit is a drunk doctrine. It is a drunk. You got to be drunk to be teaching that shit you guys are teaching. Because you don't have no understanding, so you're drunk off the fornication. A lot of men are fornicating with this world and with the doctrine. Fornicating being seen, making men idols. That's fornicating with this world. Being of this world. So a lot of men have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So if you're not in the new covenant, then you're part of the world. Now, the world is what? Carnal. This world goes into the image of the beast, which the image of the beast has to do with the flesh. This world is of the flesh. That's why guys teach you carnal fucking chips all goddamn day. And everything is carnal with these guys. Carnal updates and shit. They've been set up to teach you the world with a little twist of the Lord in there every now and then. But they're not with the Lord yet. They wait on new bodies, but they're still holding you to Moses. So a lot of guys have been made drunk off the wine of her fornication. So let's go back here real quick. A lot of guys' eyes have been darkened, and the veil is over guys' eyes. They can't see nothing but Moses. And you actually got guys think that you got actually guys think they're fulfilling the old law. It's crazy. Guys don't understand what they're teaching is going to get their ass damned, because you're not fulfilling that old law. And a lot of you guys that are stuck on that old law, and you think that that law is going to save you, then what you're saying is you make the death of the Lord of none effect unto yourself. See, at this point, pretty much, if you can't really get this like that, if you're not being quickened, then you got 1,000 questions, because you're not really being quickened. And it's very heavy in this time. So what we're witnessing is certain guys that are teaching Moses, and from camps to guys that's in the new covenant, these are the ones that are drunk with the wine and the wrath of the fornication. They're a part of Babylon. The scriptures say that her skirt is being lifted. So if somebody's skirt is being lifted, then you see what's under the skirt. So just like we see guys that don't have understanding to the new covenant, and all you guys holding to Moses, we see all you guys shame. You're naked. You're naked. That is what the garments is talking about in Revelations. Hold your garments, for you see that nakedness. Guys are naked because they're not in the spirit. All you guys. So you're part of Babylon. You're not part of the elect. You're not helping the elect teaching man Moses, man. You're moving backwards. Got all you guys in them old covenant garments, man. You're of the world, man. You're of the world. That ain't helping nobody. You're not fulfilling that law. The Lord fulfilled that law. Now, when the Lord came and fulfilled that law is dead. This is what Paul and them were teaching in the first century. This is why a lot of you guys can't get this, because you were against Paul. You were against the Lord. You were against the prophets. You have the blood of the prophets on your hands. So you're drunk with the blood of the prophets. Remember, your forefather said, let his blood be on us and our children. That shit's playing out today because guys have no understanding and they're drunk. The shit you guys are teaching, you gotta be fucking drunk. You're drunk, man. For real. Teaching Moses and that law, the Lord came and redeemed us from that law, and you're teaching that shit? Yeah, you gotta be drunk. 2 Corinthians 3, and 11. For that which is done away was glorious. The old law is done away. I want to get to this point right here. Much more which remaineth is glorious, seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech. Right, it's plain. That's this guys hate the simplicity that's in these scriptures. A lot of you guys are showing who the fuck you are. You've already showed it. We see you guys, man. We really see you guys. We try to have patience with you, but everybody is showing who they are. Now, 2 Corinthians 3. And not as Moses was put a veil over his face, that the children of Israel could not steadfastly look to the end of that which is abolished. Whew. So a lot of guys can't see that that old law of Moses has been abolished. They can't like see that. But their minds were blinded until this day remaineth the same veil, untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in the anointing. So a lot of guys they're still blinded. They're blinded. The veil is over their eyes. Right, because they're still holding to Moses. So you make the death of the Lord of none effect unto yourself. Matter of fact, let's read something. It's heavy, man. It's heavy, bro. Romans 4:13. For the promise that he should be an heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. Let me read that again, man. Man, bro. It says, for the promise that should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed, but through the law, but by the righteousness. Let me read that again. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. So the majority of our people, they're basing their righteousness on the law. That's why guys can't understand the new covenant, because guys don't have any faith. For if they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void. Whew. So if this was of the old law, this covenant will be made void. If this was of the law, and the promise be made none effect. Right, exactly. So if this was of the old law, the promise and the righteousness of faith would be of none effect. So that's why it means in Galatians right here, you make the blood of the Lord none effect unto yourself by holding to Moses. And I pretty much know that these elders and all the higher ups that got you guys holding to Moses and shit, they know by getting men holding to Moses, you're not in the spirit. Even as they're not in the spirit, it's heavy. Galatians 5:4, the anointing has become of no effect unto you, whosoever you are justified by the law. And all you guys that are holding to that law, you think you're justified of it. I heard one guy say, he said, you want us to believe in the new covenant and just don't believe in that old law? I don't believe it. I'm not going to do it. You see, guys really think they're justified of that old law. So that makes you reprobates. That means you don't have faith in the Lord and what he did. You don't have any faith in the Lord at all. And now that takes us back to Guys being drunk of the blood and the rap and the fornication. So guys were saying, let his blood be on us and our children. So by default, the only thing that you guys understand is that old law that you guys were gung-ho about in the first century when the Lord was right there. You guys were trying to hold men to Moses while the Lord was doing miracles. And when none of you guys doing miracles. It is crazy what's going on, man. It is crazy. That's why the Lord say, they told the Lord that they was Abraham's seed, but they seek to kill the Lord. That's why all men are Israel, not Israel. Romans 9:6, it says, not as though the word of the Lord have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. And this is what we're saying. The majority of our people, they have nothing to do with the Lord or Yahushua or the first century. They show you by holding to Moses, man. It is crazy. You literally got guys that say they're teaching the new covenant, telling you that you're supposed to fulfill the old covenant. That's like worse than what camps are doing. You're not fulfilling the old covenant. The Lord didn't come for you to fulfill the old covenant. He came to redeem us from that curse of the law. He came to redeem us from that law, to make us free from that law. But a lot of you, what we have to understand is men cannot understand this. They cannot. Their spirit won't let them understand this, because a lot of men are destined for to perish in this time. So they have no choice but to hate us as they hated the Lord in the first century. The same hate they have for us teaching the new covenant is the same hatred they had for the men of the Lord that they were killing, that they were slaying. Romans 9:7, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are of the children of the flesh are not the children of the power. So how do you know who's the children of the flesh? They are holding to that old covenant that's of the flesh. It's real easy. It's real easy. And certain things they can't understand of the spirit. Like they can't understand by Gentiles having faith in the spirit, which has nothing to do with the flesh. They could be with the Lord in this time. Men can be delivered just by their faith. So guys don't understand nothing past the flesh or bloodlines, or if somebody can dance or how they like their steak. This is how they discern people. And that's all that shit's of the flesh. Now with the new covenant, all those that believe are justified. Now, if you can't understand that, that means you don't have an understanding of what the Lord really came to do. So at this point, all you guys that can't get rid of Moses, all you guys are of the world. You're not in the spirit at all. You don't understand the spirit. And you got guys, they say that they're under the Lord, but they're teaching Moses. All you men that are holding to the flesh, you're not the children of the promise. You're the children of the flesh. Romans 9:8, that is, they that which are of the flesh, like old covenant was of the flesh. These are not the children of God, but the children of the promise accounted for the seed. Now, if you can understand the new covenant and the doctrine and let Moses go, then you're of the children of the promise. Because there are way many more guys that are holding to Moses than certain of us that are actually just teaching the new covenant by itself. Well, let's go back to this real quick. Matthew 23. So a lot of these guys don't realize it by them holding Moses and them being Moses' disciples. They don't realize that their forefathers said, let their blood be on them. So their blood is on them. So they're blinded by the prophecy, which Isaiah prophesied. Guys' hearts are evil. You don't have a new heart, not able. How the hell are you gonna have a new heart and you don't have mercy on certain people that will tell you that will believe? It is crazy. A lot of our people, they're in a bad spot this time, bro. Matthew 23 and 33. All ye serpents, all ye generations of vipers, how can you escape the damnation of hell? A lot of you guys, it's set up like that for you guys to be carnal, so you could be damned. And so now you're teaching the new covenant without a spiritual mind. It's heavy, bro. Wherefore, behold, I will send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them you shall kill and crucify, and some of them you shall scourge in your synagogues and prosecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of Abel and the blood of Zacharias, the son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets. You don't see Esau in there. And stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathers the chicken under her wings, and ye would not. Right, so guys are scattering in this last time. They're not gathering men to Yahushua, they're scattering the flock. And because a lot of guys don't really have no belief like that, they really don't understand what they're doing, man. They don't. A lot of you guys really don't understand what you're doing. And that's why we teach, man, because we know a lot of you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And I saw this one video, this guy was talking about they used to stone people for being witches. Well, let me just share some understanding, because a lot of you guys, you're in the fucking dark. By you guys teaching men Moses, you're bewitching our people right now. You're holding men to the flesh. You don't have no understanding about what you're talking about. None of you fucking guys, bro. It is very heavy in this time, man. So you got to understand, our people were drunken with the blood of Yahushua in the first century. And they actually said, hey, let his blood be on us and our children. So by that blood being on them, they're drunk with the wine and the wrath of the fornication of Babylon in this time, because they have nothing to do with the spirit. And a lot of you guys, you're just fooling yourself. Yahushua fulfilled that law. When Yahushua fulfilled that law, that was it for that old law. That was it. And the sign of that was the temple written in two. And the Lord coming redeeming Adam. And the Holy Ghost going out in the first century, when the Lord came back and supped with the apostles 40 days and 40 nights, like he did the same thing with Moses. So let's go to this word drunk. And what's that? Isaiah 47. Because you got the shit you guys are teaching in this time, you gotta be drunk. It's crazy, man. Oh my goodness. What was that? No, that was Revelations 17. So this word drunk in Revelation 17 and 2, real quick.
Strong's G 3184. Methuo.
Right, so this word drunk, it says to be drunk in the metaphor of one who has shed blood or murdered profusely. So they said, let his blood be on us and our children. And so it wasn't just they killed the Lord in the first century. They killed many of the men of the first century. They killed many of the prophets in the first century. That's why the script I read in Matthew 23 that they had the blood of the prophets. Oh, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killeth the prophets. They've been killing the prophets for a long time. It says murdered. It says metaphor of one who has shed blood or murder profusely. Also Esau too. But it's mainly going into Jerusalem. The Lord said Jerusalem, Jerusalem. So by them being drunk, they can never understand the new covenant. And this is their world. All right? It says to be drunken, have well drunk, be made drunk, to drink intoxication, to get drunk, Drink well, make drunk. So a lot of guys are drunk. And the drunk that they're drunken with the wine of the world, bro. When you go to Acts 2, they said Peter and them were drunken with new wine. And none of you guys are singing a new song. All of you guys are in the reprobate. Ain't none of you guys in the spirit holding the Moses. Ain't none of you guys in the spirit wearing them old covenant garments holding men to Moses. So that's what you got to understand. Their forefathers said, hey, let his blood be on us and our children. So we're witnessing the children of them that killed the prophets in Yahushua. So let me get out of here. Repent to the new covenant, man. Separate from all men that are carnal in this last day, because they have no understanding of spiritual principles. They're set up to flood us out. That's teaching the few of us. As for the majority of you guys teaching new covenant, a lot of you guys you're carnal. It's heavy, bro. Guys talking about witches. You do not understand by you holding men to Moses. You're bewitching men, holding men to Moses. You don't understand that? Shh. Hey, repent to the new covenant with that. Hey, Shalom.
They look thirsty. Well, let's give them something to drink. To the cleanse.
Hey, V, line them up.